As I listened to this debate, I had to say a few words, because I did get frustrated over what some of us believe what our constitutional values are. When George Washington left the presidency in 1796, he gave one of the greatest speeches ever given in American political thought in the history of our country. And his farewell address is considered one of the top 3 works alongside our Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of our United States. Now, maybe not many of you have read it. I have worked quite extensively academically in this, and I actually have an original print of this hanging at home in my house. It's probably my prized possession of anything I own, and something that sits right alongside my office. Now, the first half of his speech doesn't really touch on the subject today, but it's about his patriotism. And people were questioning him for not being willing to be dragged into war, in a war we couldn't win after the Revolutionary War. It was a war over shipping routes with the British. But people considered him unpatriotic. So the first half of the speech is all about George Washington defending his own patriotism. The second half, though, is very important to the debate at hand today. And in the second half, he says, I'm leaving the presidency, and all I'm going to do is going home to die peacefully on my farm. And since I have no political ambition, I have one piece of advice for our country. That piece of advice was beware political factions. In that speech, George Washington actually talked about the unity of government. He talked about the idea of a house divided, something I see here today, a house divided. Now, will getting rid of straight party balloting solve all the problems of a house divided? It certainly won't, but I think it's a step that we can start thinking of ourselves as representatives, not as representatives of our particular party, but as representatives of our districts and of this institution, of people electing people, not people electing parties electing people. We need to if we are to stand up for the democratic principles, those Republican democratic principles that our country is founded upon, it comes back to this. And there is nothing more fundamental to our American thought than our party system, and the system that was not supposed to exist. Now, a lot of you get a chuckle as you see me wear my orange tie around here every day. And I know that when I wear my orange tie here every day, that I was elected to represent all the people. Not to represent the Republicans, not to represent the Democrats, but to represent the people. And if we could talk about getting away from a party mentality and actually doing our jobs outside of a party lens, that is a step closer to Republican democracy as it was envisioned. So, Mr. Speaker, I'm here to ask my colleagues to support this. I would actually go much further in our election reforms. I think we should take parties off the ballot entirely. That's personally what I believe. But I don't think we have the support here. And I'll be introducing a bill here soon to do that. But this is what's on the table today. And this is a step towards people electing people as opposed to people electing parties to represent people. That's what we need here, people representing people. And Mr. Speaker, I urge my colleagues to vote yes.